What's happening, everyone? Paul here again from Project Prepper. In today's review, I'm going to run you through the EC Avispa folding pocket knife. Just some brief information about the Avispa before I go into the specs and the features. The Avispa is actually the bigger brother to the EZ Zancudo, which has been out for a little while now. The name itself, Avispa, is actually Spanish for wasp. This knife is actually designed by the survival experts over at EC Knives, which is Mike Perrin and Jeff Randall. The knife itself, though, is produced by Blue Ridge Knives. Now I'm going to move on to the specs of the knife. The blade length is 3.5 inch, but the cutting edge itself is 3.25 inch from the choil. The blade steel is an Oz 8 stainless steel with a stone wash finish. Comes factory sharp as soon as you get it straight out of the box. And as you can see here, it has the EC insignia and model number BRK1301. Alrighty, as you can see here, the handle and frame of the knife boasts a wider but slimline, more narrow profile, which makes it easier to stow in the pocket without feeling too bulky. Handle itself is coyote color, made from Zettel, a nylon polymer which is durable and lightweight. Also, the textured design in the handle adds for improved traction in the hand. As you can see, it has a lanyard hole, and each end of the handle and frame side of the knife has 3 holes to move the pocket clip in 4 different ways: tip up and tip down. Personally, I find it better to leave the pocket clip on the frame side, as it just doesn't feel natural in my hand to put it on the nylon handles. The blade is a full flat grind, plain edge, and has a drop point. Overall length of the knife in open position is 8.5 inches. And the weight of the knife is 4.45 ounces or 126 grams. Also, it has a nice little finger guard to prevent the hand from slipping onto the edge. Okay, as we cross over to the frame side of the handle, again it is a stone washed finish like the blade. You can see the lanyard and clip holes, and as you can see here, it has the pocket clip and also the frame lock, which is a non-assisted frame lock system. Back onto the blade again, you can see on the tang there's a print saying Taiwan, where it's made, and the Oz 8, which is the type of steel that is used. On the grind of the knife is a picture of a wasp with the word Avispa next to it. Alright, now to run through the construction of the knife and how it's put together. As you can see here, these are the standoffs which are used for connecting the handles and liners of the knife. Standoffs, in a nutshell, help to reduce weight of the knife, and it makes it for an open construction, so it's easy to clean to those hard to reach places. Only thing to be aware of though is items may slip between the standoffs and could damage the edge of the blade, like, for example, car keys. Blade thickness is 0.11 inch or 2.79 millimeters for those who use metric system. The jimping provides good traction on the thumb actually, though not too aggressive to give your thumb discomfort or injury. As you can see here, I've got a side view image of the knife just to show the knife centering is still pretty good after 4 months since its purchase. Upon further research, additionally what I'd like to add as well, as you can see here, there are 2 photos. On the left here, as pointed out, there's a small little hollowed out machine indentation which is called the detent, and to the right here, as you can see, there's a tiny little ball that's sitting at the tip of the frame lock. What this is called is a detent ball. One of the primary actions for this is basically one of a couple of things. First of all, I noticed that when the blade was in its closed position, the ball actually fits nice and snug into the detent, thus allowing a secure closed position without any blade play. Second of all, what I noticed when I go to deploy the knife, the ball creates a nice smooth action And by doing this, it actually also minimizes any wear and tear between the tang and the frame lock.
Alright guys, just going to show you the action of this knife. It's quite a smooth action actually. I've had this obviously for a while now, and it still deploys quite smoothly. One thing I'd like to add though is, as you can see here, this side of the thumb stud is a lot wider than this side, or protruding more. So if you're left-handed like myself, it can be a bit tedious task to get it open, but with a bit of effort it's pretty easy. But I find it easier just to deploy it with my right hand and then put it into my left hand like so. Alright guys, now I'm going to do some basic cut tests. First one's the paper. I'm going to do a cardboard cut test.
Just like to add as well, even though Oz 8 steel is quite a common and cheaper type steel, I must say it brings back an edge really well when you go and sharpen it, regardless whether or not it holds an edge well or not.
Now I do the rope cut test. Pretty clean cut. Cuts pretty well. Not a lot of resistance, so not too hard on the user to penetrate through the rope. A little bit of effort, of course. Not too bad. Alright guys, so that concludes the review on the EC Avispa. Like, comment, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching.